Hey, what's going on there, Dice Rolls? Paul here, and I'll be your DM for a while, and I want to help you run epic games. And there is nothing more epic than Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. Watch the whole series. I really enjoyed it. I have some critiques, but otherwise, I think it's a pretty good show, pretty good series. But it made me start to think that there are some of you out there that are wondering, well, how can I make a bender for my game? And so that's my challenge today, is to help you put some ideas together. Now, there is no one-to-one bender character class for D&D. So I've put together a few ideas of places where you can start within D&D, classes, races, and so forth. And then I'm going to show you some third-party supplements that have built an actual bender class, and we'll go and take a little peek at those as well. So let's go ahead and jump in. So let's go and start with what D&D 5e offers to us. It gives us the Genasi race, and the Air Genasi are descended from the Jinn, and they represent the elemental plane of air. They have the Earth Genasi, which is traced their ancestors to Tao, the genies of the elemental plane of Earth. There is the Fire Genasi, which is descended from the Ifrit, the genies of the elemental plane of fire. And then there's the Water Genasi, descended from Marids and aquatic genies from the elemental plane of water. And so you could start with those. Once again, they're not one-to-one, but you can use them as a starter and then begin to work with your DM as to how you can make them more like benders. D&D 5e also offers Eladrin elves, and they are of the Feywild. They're in Mordecai Presents Monsters of the Multiverse, a realm of perilous beauty and boundless magic. And they are based on the 4 seasons. There's autumn, and autumn could represent airbending. Winter could represent water and ice bending. Spring could represent an earth bending, and summer could represent the fire bending. And once again, these races, whether they're Genasi or Eladrin, they are limited as to what they can do. I know what I would want to do if I have a bender. I want to start with a certain amount of cantrips, but abilities, things that I have in me to find out that I'm a bender, right? Whether that's a gust of wind or pop of fire, or I can move a little bit of earth. All these little starter points when you're a first level character, just to have these little bitty things that you can do and then develop off of that. Now let's look at some classes that D&D 5e gives us. They give us the Druid class. And druids are primarily forest, but that's been expanded over the years to things like Circle of the Land. And you could then take a particular land, such as Arctic, which you could combine that with coast and make that water and ice. You could get the desert, which could be fire, air, or earthbending. And you could get mountain, which is also earthbending. But once again, there could be some combinations of things that you could use to develop these druid classes into better looking benders. Also, not only the Circle of the Land, but you have the Circle of the Moon. And the Circle of the Moon, you get some cool stuff. At 10th level, you can expend 2 uses of Wild Shape at the same time to transform into an Air Elemental, an Earth Elemental, a Fire Elemental, or a Water Elemental. So you have the Druid class, and you could have the Circle of Land, Circle of the Moon, or Circle of Wildfire. And these druids bond with a primal spirit that harbors both destructive and creative power, allowing the druids to create controlled flames that burn away one thing but give life to another. This druid has access to a number of flame and fire spells, and at 2nd level can summon a wildfire spirit. Once again, very cool stuff. It's not one-to-one, but you can see all these different pieces and parts that are great, but you don't get a lot of stuff early on, or you have to wait a long time before those types of abilities become, epic. But let's say you want to play a wizard or a cleric or a sorcerer. Well, listen, work with your list, work with your spell list and say, how can we convert these into elemental type spells? Example, magic missile. Well, magic missile, you can do ice missiles, you can do earth missiles, you can do water missiles, you can do fire missiles, right? All of those, as long as the appropriate environment is there and you have access to those things, well, then you can just convert those spells over into bender type abilities. Another class you can look at is the monk, Way of the 4 Elements. And this is one of the monk's monastic traditions. It's found in the Player's Handbook. It says, monks make careful study of magical energy that most monastic traditions called ki. This energy is an element of magic that suffuses the multiverse, specifically the element that flows through living bodies. In the monastic tradition, the Way of the Four Elements, the monk must use key points to use a particular element or spell to increase the damage of that attack. Now listen, you could work with your DM on the section called Elemental Attunement as to whether these could be your cantrips, showing the natural affinity for bending before choosing the Way of the Four Elements as your tradition. So example, you can use some of these elemental attunements you can use are things like you can use your action to briefly control elemental forces within 30 feet of you, causing one of the following effects of your choice. Create a harmless, instantaneous sensory effect related to air, earth, fire, or water, such as a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, a spray of light mist, or a gentle rumbling of stone. Or you could do instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. Chill or warm up 1 pound of non-living material for up to an hour. Cause earth, fire, water, or mist that can fit within a 1-foot cube to shape itself into a crude form you designate for 1 minute. So those are the starting points you can work with to develop a bender out of a class or out of a race, and work with your DM to make them more bender-ish. But there are some third-party materials that you can use that actually make a bender class if you want to. And I bought all 4 of these for $10. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Okay, so let's take a look at the 4 resources that I have for you that breaks down an actual bender class. Also, I noticed that I've been saying players a lot in this, and you are the DMs I'm sure I'm talking to that I want to play epic games. So please take this as a note. Work with your players to develop a bending character if they want to, based on either some of the resources I've already said, or allowing them to use one of these types of resources. But also, what a great opportunity to put these benders in your game as a first-time deal. If they've never seen a bender in game, well, then you can be able to show them how that actually plays and then give them an option to play that character later on, or make up these as NPCs and let them choose a bender and make a benderish type of adventure where they can test this out. Okay, most of these are really short. The last one is pretty beefy. The first 3, not so much. I'm not going to go into detail about all of these. It would take just too much time, but if you want me to go into one of these, leave me comments down below and I will go a little bit deeper into these as we go along. Okay, so here we have the 5e 4-element benders, and this has all that you're going to need. This is really short. It's only 4 pages to it. Let me scroll through here, and you can see here it has class information, class features, then it gives you a subclass, the Self-Enlightenment Airbenders, Spiritual Enlightenment Airbenders. It moves on and says Airbender Bending List. So it gives you all the spells that would be identified with an airbender that would use this. So you won't have to dig these up for yourself. All the work has been done for you. As we go on, it's got Earthbenders, and then it has a couple of subclasses like the Lava Benders and the Metal Benders. Then you have Earthbenders list, and they give you all the spells there that you would need for the Earthbender. Then you get the Fire Benders, also a couple of subclasses, Radiant Benders, Lighting Benders, and then it gives you the Fire Bending list here. Once again, no work for you. It's already kind of mapped out and ready to go. And then finally, the Water Benders gives you all the class features. It's done in the same 5e kind of design style, so it's easy to read. And then subclasses, you have the Arctic Benders and the Swamp Benders. Boy, you gotta love that, the Swamp Benders. Look at that. I like that. And then it gives you your water bending list. So those are the pages that give the acknowledgments right there. So be sure, if you can just zoom in there if you want to check those out. You got the staff credits there, the writers, the consulting designer, editors, layout artist, publisher, all the good stuff there, so be sure to check this one out. Okay, this one here is the Earthbender Sorcerer, very specific, class specific here, done by the Fireside GM, and I seem to believe that I did something else from the Fireside GM that was, I think, one of my 99-cent subclasses, something like that. You can, I'll put a link up here somewhere if you're interested in that. But here you have the Earthbender Sorcerer. It gives you the introduction, gives you the earth magic, gives you the earth magic spells by levels here. And it gives you seismic sense. I like that. It you know when something's rumbling and moving around. It has elemental ability. It has a bending affinity, earthen durability, Earthbender spells, rock missiles. I haven't mentioned that earlier. I forgot. I didn't even remember that this even had it in it. But yeah, it's got rock missiles. And then you have all the credits there, all the good people that put this together. But this, like I said, really short, 4 pages, and boom, you got yourself an Earthbender Sorcerer. Let's move on to number 3. Okay, you see here we have Way of the Benders. I believe if I read that right, it's heterodoxy up there. And it is a monk subclass inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then you have the Way of the Bender. It's got all the things you need there: the ball of flames, flame whips, lightning bending. It's got the fire, all the different fire things you do: the ready defense, infused strike. Got water. You have infused strike, ready defense, dance of elements, elemental essentials. I mean, that's a lot of, I mean, this is a short, there's only 4 pages, and it is packed with all the cool stuff you want your bender to do. I really, really like this. It's got blood bending. Look at that at 17th level. And then you carry on. It has air, earth. Yep, it has all the things you need to put together a expanded version of the Way of the Elements monk. So just be sure to check that out. Also, the Celestial Kitten wrote this, so good job, Celestial Kitten. Really good stuff. All right, this is the beefiest of them. I believe it has, I want to say it has, how many pages does it have? 13 pages. So yeah, 13 pages, and it is the Martial Elementalist. Player character class and subclasses inspired by Avatar by Level 0 Gaming. So as you go through here, once again, can't do a deep dive into it because this one has a lot in it. It's got your levels, your bonus proficiencies, basic forms, your spells, very traditional layout of other classes. Gives you all your basic stuff there: traditional training, elemental magic, talks about spell slots, your basic forms, and then it gives you your core elementalists. You have the air elementalist subclass features, you have aeromancy, and then you have all the abilities that go with that: light as air, thunder, force, vacuum, swift as the wind. And then you have favored forms and spell list, gives you all the spell lists you need there. And it does, I do notice that you have to have prerequisites there. So that's kind of a nice feature. I don't mind prerequisites. I think it slows players down from advancing too much and too far too quickly. So I like having prerequisites. That's not a bad thing. You have Earth Elemental subclass features. You have Terramancy, and then you have some abilities there. Metal, permanence of the earth. Then you have the favored form and spell list for that. Then you have Fire Elemental subclass features like Pyromancy. You get Hot-Blooded. Then you have the Fire Elementalist favored forms and spell list, all the things you need, all the cool stuff that you want your Firebender to have. And last but not least, you have the Water Elementalist, and the subclass for that is Water Elemency. Water Affinity favored forms, Octopus Stance. You can cast Arms of Hadar once between rests without expending a spell list. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Then you have the Water Elementalist favored forms continued, all the spells you get with that. And then you have the Affinity Neutral favored forms. The following favored forms can be learned by any elementalist regardless of their elemental affinity. So very nice. I like how it opens it up, and you can learn just like the Avatar can learn different bending. Well, your character can do the same as well. Check them out. Good job, Level 0 Gaming. All right, and those are the 4 third-party resources you can get. Links will be down below, but I'd like to hear from you. Have you played a bender before? Have you allowed your players to use benders in your game? Have you used any of these resources, or have you created your own homebrew benders? I would love to hear from you. Leave me some comments down below. And if you really liked the video, well, go ahead and use your airbending power and slap that thumbs up button. And that's it for this video, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.